Guys, I tell you what, it is cold here this morning. I was coming back to the garage. I seen two beagles. They stopped here at the garage looking for a set of jumper cables so they could jump a rabbit. I'm telling you, it is cold. The mercury is dipping. Hey, you guys that watch the channel, you probably say sometimes, man, that guy's dumber than a bag of hammers. I can't say that you'd be wrong. This Max Wedge clone car that we done, this transmission was giving us fits. So we pulled the thing out. You can watch the video. I'm still not sure why the leak, what the problem was. I think it was in that converter. The problem was the clutch pack, the snap ring, it fell out. That's why it wouldn't pull itself. But anyhow, we got it running. So check it out. I'm Marty Moore, owner and driver of the Hemi Express Wheel Standard. Welcome to my hot rod garage. All right, guys, we got Grandma's Max Wedge car in here again, this 65 Dodge. Guys, this something right here is really handy. I made that to put my winch on so I could pull stuff up on the lift that wasn't running. So we got the old Dodge here, which you've seen the videos. We built the motor for it and we put it in there. I put the motor and trans in the car. The guy took it back home because he had to put the brakes on it and the exhaust and everything else. Anyhow, he's got a problem with the transmission now. He had the transmission rebuilt. I didn't rebuild it, but he had it built. And I know the guy that built it, and I'm real confident in the guy that built it. So, but anyhow, something's wrong here that I can't figure out. It's I went over when Don started the car, we jacked it up, we ran it through the gears, checked the fluid and everything, set it on the ground, backed it out of the garage, pulled it back in the garage. It's like everything seemed good, and then he went out the next morning, there was fluid all over the floor. So I told him it's probably coming from the dipstick. So he sealed that up, put fluid in it. That wasn't it. We checked the shifter cable and everything. Anyhow, it only went out of the garage that one time. Now I put fluid in it, it won't even pull itself. So anyhow, we got a guy fairly local here that we're gonna pull this thing out and get it up there. He can check the converter. I don't know, maybe the converter's bad, but he can check the converter for us and take the tranny up there and let him go through it, see what he can find. But so, all right, so we'll get after it, see how it works. All right, guys, we're getting ready to put this thing back in. What we had, you seen, when we took this old converter out, this old converter, they call these banana converters, I believe, and we had an excessive amount of play. From the flex plate to the converter, we had over 1/2 inch in and out. So we're trying to figure out what's going on. So with the converters laying here, you can see height-wise what we got here. They're pretty close. They're pretty close. So we couldn't figure out what was going on. So after further looking at this, let me get my little indicator here. And let's look at this. Let's look at the snout here. At the length of the snout. So if I come here, see the weld's there, but if I kind of bypass that weld, get right here, Dan, where you can see this. See right here? See right here what I'm talking about, guys? I'm off the weld, so from here, the snout of that converter. So let's lock that down there. See what I'm saying? From the converter, that snout. Now let's come over here to our new one. And look what we got here. So that 1/2 inch that we had slop on that, with this snout being longer, that's going to take that up. So I'm not a transmission guy. I'm not sure what that end play is supposed to be. Maybe some of you tranny guys could comment and tell us, but see here, so if you see what I'm talking about, the length of this snout, that one there, it's bottomed out, and over here on this one we've got this much. So another thing that we want to do before we put this up in there, to save yourself time, guys, these converters, if you've ever been laying underneath one, you know what I'm talking about. They only bolt on one way. So this flex plate here, this flex plate, like when you go to line these holes up, they only line up one way. So what I want to do is mark the converter. You see where I marked it, and I marked this flex plate. So when this goes on, see all your bolt holes now? They all line up. But like I say, it only goes one way. And if you get under there, you'll be putting it on, and you'll get 2 or 3 of these bolts in, and then the last one won't go, and you'll be like, oh crap. So what I want to do now, after this is marked here, is I want to take my flex plate underneath there and make sure that this is marked on the motor, so we get it on there right. So what we're going to do, flip this new converter back over, and we'll pour about 1 quart of fluid in this thing, and then get ready to put it in there. Easy peasy. Now guys, see what we got here, our flex plate on here. So we marked this. See here, I got my X on here because this only goes on the torque converter one way. So what I want to do now, let me see if I can. So if this goes on here, like see there, it don't line up. See there, it don't line up. Don't line up. Let me tighten that back up. Don't line up. Right there. See that? That's the way she goes right there. So what we want to do is mark our flex plate right here. I'll turn that motor around so I can mark the other side of this. Yep. Please. How far you need me to go? Come on around, on around. A little more. A little more. That'll work. So it's the one that's marked here with the ears. So now we know our flex plate. And you might want to make sure you get these the right way. You know, the crank side. So the side we got marked here with the X, now we'll line up with this. And our converter will bolt right up. That just saves time, guys. That's all. Otherwise, you get it you get under here and you get fighting it and you get 3 bolts in and the other one won't line up. It's a whole big thing. All right, now we'll get some fluid in that converter and lock the converter in. All right, guys, see what we've done here? I put a little bit of grease on this just so when we slide it in that seal, it slides real easy. And then what we're going to try to do is put about a quart of this tranny fluid in there. I'm sorry, you can't say tranny fluid. Transmission operating fluid. Al, just go ahead and pour that all over, why don't you?
I'll do that for you, Marty. No need to put any grease on it. I'll just get
trans
fluid.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. You see that gurgling in there? Air coming out of it. You got about a quart in?
It's about 3/4 of a quart.
Probably good enough. We'll soak up some of this excess here. You got it on your hands.
I got it. Did you hear that?
That didn't sound good.
It's going to be a little more exposure.
And then what we're going to do here, guys, so you can see, you see the notches on the port converter there. So when we get under here, I don't know if you can see back in the pump. Try to get it where you can see. Can you see where that engages in the pump back there? I don't know if I'm getting this or not, but there you can kind of see the ears on that pump. All right, so he's got to try to line those ears up. Al, that thing is about 1 o'clock.
Okay.
The one ear. See what we got here?
Yep, on the pump.
Yeah, on the pump it's about 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So we'll try to get that pump in there.
Take a squeeze in there with you.
Yep. Should go back one more time. Ain't one to go, is it?
It's not.
There it is.
Yeah, we gotta go back. There it is.
There it is. So see, guys, how that goes? That's got to click like 3 times.
Yep.
To get back in there.
I think we're back all the way.
All right, here I made me a little thing. I just bent it up out of wire, so once we know that that's locked in there, I can put that in there and tighten it down. Just to make sure, so when we're putting this putting this transmission up in there, this thing don't slide out on us. There we go. That's just a little insurance right there. So when we're monkeying with this thing, that converter don't slide out. But you see our spacing here now, so we know that we're all the way in there. All right, now I guess we'll just try to get it up in there.
All right.
Here she is, guys, leaving on her own power, hopefully. Don't throttle it, you're on a crate. There she goes, another dissatisfied customer. Now watch him run in a ditch out there, fall off his crate.
Better not. We ain't doing it again.